What is your American dream?
I'm from Argentina, and my American dream is everybody could have a house, food, education, healthy in my country and in every country of the world.
My American dream as a Jamaican immigrant is for everyone to come to America without any hostility and to just enjoy.
I'm from Independence, Missouri, and my American dream is for everybody to reach the same level of equality and just be together in unity with no judgment within the same place, and for people to come together and really see that there is no difference between us. I want everyone to have the same opportunities and just be together as one.
I'm a born American. I was born and raised here in New York City, and my parents are from actually the Dominican Republic. What my American dream is, just people to be able to go back the way we used to be. Come here, do your American dream, work hard, make money, and then go on. Can we all just get along?
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is June 1st, 2022. It is Hump Day. Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, how are you?
I am feeling humpy.
Are you really?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Do we need to put the air down a little? We have to cool this place down a little bit for you?
Well, I mean, it's summertime, so you always have to cool it down. I'm not really.
All right, I got a question for the squad.
Yes.
Because Jonathan has a different first comment on Facebook. My first comment, I see Kavar Harris on Facebook. There's no question Kavar Harris first comment on YouTube.
All right, I think the squad should answer this.
I just need to ask the squad, is Kavar Harris a winner today? Because Jonathan doesn't see Kavar Harris.
For some reason, I don't see Kavar on mine.
So
I opened it up a little later.
I hope Kavar Harris is the winner.
I hope so too. That's why I said ask the squad.
Yeah, if you first to comment in both YouTube and Facebook, you will get a complimentary Bradshaw Live mug. Kavar Harris has been very close.
And I would love Kavar Harris to win. So
we'll see.
Even if you guys lie and say that Kavar Harris won.
So we'll see. Ask Brad, where are your glasses?
Oh, damn. Where are they?
Not on my face.
Not
Well,
it looked really nice with your colorful handkerchief.
Not on my face.
I kept my promise, guys.
You kept your glasses on.
Yes.
All right, let's say hello to the squad. Kavar Harris, I have Kavar Harris, number one. Darryl Winterbot, squad up. Willie L. Williams, Jessica Leamy, how are you? Sarah Smith, Joan Ambitious Powell, Beverly Bourne, squad up. Carol the Tiger. Who else we got here? Elizabeth Francis, squad up. Stargirl Mika, we see you. Willie L. Williams. And who else we see here? Anybody I missed? I got Lisa Bling Rose, squad up as well. I think I got everybody on Facebook, on YouTube. Kavar Harris also number one. I think Kavar Harris is the winner.
I think just give it to Kavar Harris.
I think Kavar Harris is the winner. Jessica Leamy, squad up, double fisting. Ian says give it to Kavar Harris too. All right, Kavar Harris, drop a DM, and one of our crew will figure out how to get you a Bradshaw Live mug. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Sheldon Dixon, keep up the awesome job. Thank you very much, Sheldon. Joe Helsoe saying hello. Samuel Udoma has a question. Could I still work while my I-751 is denied and also waiting to refile again? Sure, why not? You're not working. It's not going to. It's not. The answer is yes, sure, why not? Because it's not going to affect your I-751 when you refile again, even though you probably or you are working undocumented. But keep working. And the Dream saying squad up as well. Yo-Yo, why don't you take it away?
Absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. I need you guys to throw in your questions now. All right? So don't hit us up after saying, hey, you guys didn't read my questions. If you throw it in too late, we can't get to every single question, just like Brad can't get to everybody who wants to call. So throw in your questions now. I'm telling you right now, so we can answer them during social media check-in. And also, of course, we'd love for you guys to please share this. Share it to any and everybody. Just click that little share button, that little arrow, copy the link, send it as a text message blast. Just hit everybody up. Hit them up every day and be like, yo, we are live now. All right, because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad. He's going to fill us on the latest headlines, including new data and analytics comparing modern day immigrants to those who came to America a century ago. And we're going to celebrate the middle of the week with some hump day stories, including what our June 2022 sex horoscopes have in store for us. First of all, I thought we were just doing horoscopes. When did it turn into sex horoscopes?
I don't know. Someday.
The first one wasn't sex horoscopes, because I remember
it was like your moon horoscope.
Yeah, because it told me to hit up, like, you know, my networks and all that, and I did, and it actually worked. They snuck this in.
They had to
Make us Randy, huh?
I hope I have a good sex horoscope.
Yeah.
That would stink if I don't.
Yeah, it would.
It would be terrible. Start crying. Later, by the way, you can call Smart Bernstein 1-800-529-5465. That's the number to call to get on our show. We have about 3 or 4 open lines still. So if you call right now, you will get on our show to ask your question of me in about 20-25 minutes from now. And later in the show, I'm going to speak with Mexican-American middle grade teacher and author Ernesto Cisneros about his first published book, Efrén Divided, and the importance of providing today's youth with an honest depiction of characters with whom they can identify.
Nice.
All right, you ready to schmooze?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So, economic historians Lee Bustan and Ran Abramsky, they're using cutting-edge technology to separate fact from fiction by comparing modern-day immigrants to those who came to America a century ago, and their findings are laid out in their book, Streets of Gold, America's Untold Story of Immigration Success.
Wow.
And Abramsky is a professor of economics at Stanford University, and he says, quote, "One big surprise was how well the children of immigrants are doing, and how children of immigrants from nearly every sending country, no matter what country they're from, anywhere in the world, are mostly upwardly mobile than the children of U.S. born, and how that has stayed constant for more than 100 years. So for more than 100 years, the children of immigrants have done better than the children of U.S. citizens. Wonder why?
I mean, it really does not surprise me. Being a child of an immigrant, direct immigrant, I could go off of my experience. You know, we know that our parents had to sacrifice so much and suffer a lot just to get to the States. We know that they
had to be smart to figure out how to get here.
Yeah, they want to make, and then they also want to make sure that we do better than what they did. So like it's in the blood, you know. Well,
you speak to so many immigrants, they say I do it for my kids.
Yeah, right.
And here the statistics bear it out.
And if you talk to most immigrant-born children, they also say I do it for my parents.
Right.
So that's literally my motivation is to pay them back by just making them proud.
And by the way, do you know what they say the number one reason is?
Why?
Because immigrants move to cities.
To cities?
Yes, they move to cities. So according
this is true.
According to Leah Bustan and Ran Abramsky, in the last 100 years, immigrants, when they come to the U.S., they move to cities. They don't go rural.
Yeah.
So they're locating in and I'm quoting from the book, they're locating in very dynamic cities with a lot of good job opportunities, and that's helping them set up their kids for success. And we find that the children of the internal migrants, the U.S.-born families that move somewhere else, actually look a lot like the children of immigrants. And so what's really happening is that immigrants are willing to move to good places, and a lot of U.S.-born families stay in the location where they were born.
Yep.
So, you're born in, backwards farm town somewhere. I'm not saying all farm towns are backwards. I'm All of a sudden, all
Well,
the
you can
farmers,
say it's
all
slow-
the,
yeah,
all
you-
the farmers. I don't want the farmers coming at me.
It's not backwards, but
Yeah.
it's definitely slower
Slower,
than
right?
a city.
Right. And so
you know,
the
city pace.
opportunities there are not as great, obviously, as being in a dynamic city, and immigrants are locating when they come to the United States to locate to cities.
You know, that fascinates me too, because a lot of immigrants, a lot of them come from, maybe underdeveloped country. Like my family came from, villages basically, and for just to think about like them, because I think about myself moving from LA to New York, I was like, woof, it's a culture shock. But I was already from the city and I'm moving to another city.
Right.
Imagine moving from like a village or like an underdeveloped country and coming to this fast-paced city and still being successful. Like, that's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Now the data also is dispelling the notion that today's immigrants are a financial burden. According to the book, even if immigrant parents are low paid, and this is data, this is statistics, this is science, their children are able to move up very quickly into higher paid, more productive jobs. So in the next generation, we see that immigrants are able to pay more into the system than they take out. Anti-immigrant forces often point to crime as a reason to limit immigration. According to the statistics, over the last 100 years, immigrants and children of immigrants are less likely to commit a crime than U.S.-born citizens and children of U.S.-born citizens.
Yeah, I like what Don Harriet said. The immigrant parents impart the fighting and motivational spirits in their kids.
Yeah.
So, and I agree.
Yeah. So all of that statistically borne out.
I think it's impact the fighting and
Statistically
motivation.
borne out.
Yeah.
And it's Pride Month this month.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
June.
Yes, June is Pride Month. The world's LGBTQ communities have come together to celebrate the freedom to be themselves.
Yes.
Pride gatherings are rooted in the arduous history of minority groups who have struggled for decades to overcome prejudice. Now, because of the potential of Roe versus Wade being overturned, which we'll probably know sometime by the end of this month, that could be a harbinger of other rights to be taken away, including same-sex marriage rights.
Right. That would be wild.
But right now in June, we are celebrating Pride Month, and the original organizers chose this month to pay homage to the Stonewall Uprising in June of 1969, New York City. It's about, in Greenwich Village, it's about, there's a bar, a gay bar, and the police came and raided it, and because they said, they weren't allowed to have homosexuality or
Right.
people, gathering, same-sex gatherings, and then turned into a whole riot.
Yeah.
And that started the gay pride movement, which eventually led to gay rights, same-sex marriage, and everything else. It's about the bar where that riot started. It's about a mile from where our studio is right now.
Yeah, it's close by.
Very close by. You can walk there.
Yeah.
About a 20-minute walk, 25-minute walk.
I covered Pride parade and learned that I think it was a trans woman that really started, a black trans woman that started like the whole movement of Pride right after that Stonewall Inn. So
yeah. So, but you can walk there. It's about what, 20-minute walk? Probably.
Yeah, it's not far.
Yeah. So, by the way, it's LGBTQ, stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, and now it has been extended to LGBTQIA to include intersex and asexual groups. I don't know what does intersex mean. That's beyond my understanding.
Yes, I don't know.
What is intersex, Jill? Maybe you
asexual.
can tell me. I don't know what that means.
Let me see.
A discrepancy between the external and internal.
Does that mean like
you have a combination of testicles and ovaries? Like you have some people have two.
Yeah, they have both.
Have both.
What are they called?
Okay.
Hermaphrodite. So that would be a hermaphrodite, right?
I understand now. I understand now. Okay. Lawmakers across more than a dozen states including Colorado, Connecticut, New Mexico, say they're planning to provide transgender kids and their families legal refuge if they violate another state's laws by receiving gender-affirming care, meaning that states will not cooperate with other states' anti-trans laws. And President Biden, in a New York Times opinion piece, he said that he's going to be providing long-range missiles to Ukraine. The concern with giving long-range missiles to Ukraine, airplanes to Ukraine, is that at some point Russia's going to say that the United States is actually getting into a war with Russia, especially if Ukraine has these long-range missiles that can now go hit Russia, rather than just repel the Russian army, but go counteroffensive into Russia. That's the concern. Nobody wants to have World War III, especially with a crazy man Putin. But at the same time, Europe is very scared. Ukraine, obviously, Ukrainians are very scared. Saw what happened during World War II. Hitler invaded Poland, and then from Poland he went everywhere else. And that's what this looks like to Europeans right now.
Right.
So it's not just a war of Russia versus Ukraine. It's a war of Russia versus Europe. And that's why this is being taken so seriously. The concern is that we don't want to be dragged into the war. So Russia has stopped trying to overtake Ukraine at the moment. They're just trying to take the eastern portion of Ukraine. And Ukraine is losing some areas in the eastern portion. They're gaining areas back in the south. So it kind of seems
like
to
tug
be
of war.
Tug of war right now
Yeah.
going on there in Ukraine. President Zelensky says that the Ukrainian army is losing about 100 men every day.
Losing?
Yes, losing.
That's how many people are dying?
Yeah, about 100 men every day. And if you say to Europeans,
Golly.
you know, the Europeans have been taking in the Ukrainians, and
That's a lot.
and the way the Europeans look at it in terms of taking in the Ukrainians is that the women and children were allowed to leave the Ukraine. The men are staying
had to
there.
stay.
Right. So the way you're a European, the way you look at it is like this. These Ukrainian men are fighting for my freedom.
Yeah.
Because if Russia overtakes Ukraine, we're going to be the next country. You know, Poland, Romania.
Yeah.
So we should be very good
Put
to,
it in as
to
much
their
as-
women
yeah,
and
to their
children
women.
and
Yeah.
take care of them.
Yeah.
And also
And are
give
they
them,
doing that?
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
you know, and also give them weapons.
Yeah.
They're fighting for us.
Basically,
that's how
yeah,
Europeans look
essentially
at it.
that's what it is.
That's how the Europeans look at it. So, and I don't know if the statistics are correct or not, but I saw a statistic in the New York Post over the weekend that Russia lost over 30,000 soldiers already.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a
That's a
bloody,
lot.
bloody war. It is a bloody, bloody war. At some point, there's going to be a truce. There's going to come a
there has
truce
to
when
be.
too many people die, that this tug of war goes back and forth, when the economic sanctions start to hit Russia very bad. There's going to be a truce. And I think right now what they're fighting for is the upper hand in the truce talks. When that truce will be, I don't know. But my guess is hopefully by the end of the year.
I'm hoping.
The only thing you never know is that things can spiral out of control. Putin can, you know, do something dastardly.
Yeah.
Use a low-grade nuclear weapon, for example. Try to attack another country. And then who knows what will be. So, you know, let's hope that they can come to a truce soon. And yesterday, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced the introduction of a bill that's going to place a national freeze on handgun ownership across Canada. So he's not taking any handguns away, but no new handguns.
Okay.
No new handguns.
I mean,
can
it's
be,
a start.
Yeah, no new handguns can be imported, and no new handguns can be manufactured in Canada.
Wow.
So eventually, the handguns will break, they'll become obsolete, and then there'll be no more guns.
They need to do that. They need to do that with the bullets as well.
Well, I think, by the way, I think Chris Rock had the best idea for gun control.
What?
He says, let everybody have all the bullets you want. You never saw his act?
No.
And it's so smart. And he's funny, but it's so smart. He said, let everybody have all the guns you want, but every bullet should cost more than $5,000.
That's what I'm talking
Right.
about.
And then
Yeah.
you say, and then Chris Rock in his act says, you know what, man? I want to kill you. But I don't got the $5,000 for the bullet.
Right.
Or you know what? You ain't worth the $5,000.
You ain't worth it. That's what I would have said.
You ain't worth the $5,000.
Like, I want to kill you, but
I
you
want to kill
definitely
you.
ain't worth the $5,000.
I'm just gonna hit you over the head with my gun.
See,
Right.
and I'd rather that because I could,
Yeah.
you know, at least
So
it'd be a fair fight.
And I'm going to tell you something. I mean, it was really funny. But if
See,
you
why can't they do
but if
that
you
at
think, But
least?
if you think about it, that's like the smartest thing in the
Yeah.
world. I think Chris Rock.
That's why I said immediately. I was like, okay, that's cool that
Yeah.
you're gonna stop making the guns and importing them. But like, how about the bullets?
Yeah.
That if you still have the guns, like you get bullets.
You should Google Chris Rock's act on that.
I
It's
will.
really funny.
I will.
It's really funny. So, the new legislation in Canada is also going to require that long gun magazines can never hold more than, 5 rounds. Prime Minister Trudeau said gun violence is a complex problem, but at the end of the day, the math is really quite simple. The fewer the guns in our communities, the safer everybody's going to be. He actually campaigned, his number one campaign was gun reform. Imagine what would happen in the United States. Somebody ran gun reform as the number one. They wouldn't win.
At all.
They wouldn't win.
See, the thing is, a politician wouldn't set themselves up like that.
Because I think most people want gun control.
Of course.
But I think, you know what? Between media, movies, TV, news, real life, we have become so sanitized or conditioned to gun violence, it doesn't affect you anymore.
Yeah.
14, over the weekend there were 14 mass shootings. Nobody cared. We've just become so sanitized to it. So if somebody, desensitized. I said sanitized,
Yeah,
desensitized.
desensitized.
Thank you. That is the word I was looking for. That nobody cares.
Yeah, and that's
So
that's
somebody
scary.
said right.
It should never be like that.
And can you imagine? You have the same protesters or similar people with similar political beliefs standing in front of abortion clinics. All right, telling people that they're killing babies. Don't go do it. Don't go do it. You have to have this baby. But why are we not having protesters standing in front of gun stores doing the same thing to the gun owners? But you're actually killing real people, alive people. We don't have that here. Why are they protesting in front of the? Why are they protesting in front of the abortion clinics, but we have nobody protesting in front of gun stores? You want to know why?
Why?
Because we've been desensitized.
That's the worst place to be in, to be desensitized for something that doesn't happen all over the world. I don't know who it was, if it was in the UK or some out of the country reporter was interviewing Ted Cruz as he was walking. It was like, why does this happen in your country, in the United States, and not anywhere else? And then he got so pissed. He didn't answer the question. He was like, I'm sorry that you feel that our country is like that. And because he and then he went off and just walked away.
Right.
Because he can't answer this.
Meanwhile, yesterday, White House officials met with travel industry officials who pressed the Biden administration to end its requirement that vaccinated international travelers take a coronavirus test. I think that makes sense.
Yes.
I think if you have the vaccination, you shouldn't have to sit there and spend money to take a test.
Yeah.
Well, I just traveled back to the U.S. I had to take a test. You have to do it within 24 hours. I'm vaccinated. It costs like $100.
Yeah. For us, it costs about $80.
It was $100
from Colombia.
It was $100.
And then it literally has to be
done within 24 hours.
So
you're heading to the airport. You don't even know if you have the results, but then you're waiting on I just got it. Thank God. You stress out. It stresses you out.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a reason for it. So I hope he does that. And today in Shanghai, China's largest city and financial hub, they started loosening the restrictions after a 2-month lockdown. Everybody was locked down there.
Oh.
Yeah. They finally started letting
2
people out
months.
again.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
They don't care.
I remember when they started.
25 million people confined to their home for 8 weeks. They don't care. They don't care. There's no freedom there.
I cared.
There's no freedom there. All right, let's do some hump day. We have some camels.
It's hump day.
Hey.
It's hump day. It's
Hump day. All right. This is very bizarre, Jonathan. A woman is in love with a plane, and she insists her desire is not a flight of fancy. She wants to marry a Boeing.
A toy Boeing.
Yes. Sarah Roto, 23 years old, even refers to the Boeing 737 as her boyfriend. This is not made up. This is a true person. She flies on the aircrafts as often as possible. She has 50 replica models of the plane at home. She calls her Boeing Dickie.
Okay.
Of course she would call him Dickie. Yes. She goes for a fly around with Dickie, I guess. I don't know. Which is so bizarre. She lives in Germany.
Oh, she's getting passionate with it.
Yeah, the Dortmund resident identifies as an objectum sexual, meaning that she is sexually attracted to inanimate objects.
Wow.
There's such a thing. She said her past romances with men did not get her to fly as high as her romances with a Boeing. She says she loves her plane Dickie. She loves everything about him. She loves the face, the wings, the engine. They're very sexy to me. Some people don't understand my love, but my friends took my coming out very well and are encouraging me to continue.
So if your friend had came out and said that I am in love with an object, the spatula.
The spatula.
Yeah.
I would say if you're in love with the spatula, I would encourage you to continue to be in love.
Really?
With the spatula.
Would you think stuff in the back of your mind?
I think you crazy as hell. You crazy as hell, boy. But I'm gonna be like the man's in love with the spatula.
Listen.
What am I to say no, right?
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Being on this show, we've covered a lot of stories, almost like this. So I definitely would be more accepting and open to somebody telling me that.
Now, if you told me you wanted to marry the spatula, and you wanted to have a ceremony to marry, I would say, okay, now you're going too far. But you're in love with the spatula. Yeah. Who am I to say you should be in love with the spatula? You're not hurting me, right?
So
is this woman hurting anybody by being in love with the Boeing?
No.
So who am I to say,
That's why, look, if she love it, I love it too. And it makes her happy.
William Williams said she should be in love with R2D2. You should give her a call.
Well, you see, that might be like the hunk of hunks if you were what are they called? Objectum sexual.
Yeah.
R2D2?
Yeah.
It's probably like Thor compared to, a plane.
What about C3PO?
Oh.
C3PO does this, but R2D2's head goes in a circle.
Yeah.
I think that would be more exciting.
How about the how about the robot from the Jetsons?
That robot knows a lot.
What's her name? Rosie or something like that?
Rosie, the housekeeping robot?
Yeah. She's pretty hot. Look, if you were a Jetsons sexual.
Meanwhile, this is also really bizarre.
Oh gosh.
The stripper has gone viral on social media, claiming she danced naked in front of her own brother at his bachelor party.
Golly.
How does she not know?
It's dark.
How does she not know that she got hired for her brother's bachelor party?
You don't know that. I know. I remember going to college with some strippers.
Doesn't she talk to her brother and say, "Hey, you got a bachelor party tonight?" And she say to myself, I'm working at a bachelor party tonight.
Nah. So listen, I used to go to school in undergrad with strippers that did home parties like this, and all I remember, because I remember them getting ready. I went to a party with them before just to see how they get down, right? So they just get ready. They smell so good. They get drunk and all that. They don't know nothing about it as long as they got their big old security guard right there to make sure they get paid, make sure nobody tries nothing with them. That's all it is. So I could see how this happens.
Well, the wild story was relayed by the exotic entertainer. She's known as Kendra in a TikTok post just on May 15th. She says, I ended up being the stripper at my brother's bachelor party. I didn't realize until I was completely naked.
Oh, my God.
Kendra did not explain where or when this party occurred, but the brunette beauty has previously revealed that she has worked in the strip clubs in the South.
Oh, goodness gracious.
One woman wrote, I would have noticed all my brother's friends and mostly my brother before I got naked.
Look, she probably was in her zone. She was in her zone.
Right. Another one didn't believe it. She said, things that never happened, this.
Nah,
But you believe this happened.
I believe it. I believe it.
Well, yeah, because one person wrote, you all realize how dark it is in these places?
That's what I said. It is
Yeah.
very dark, especially when they walk in, you know, they got like the sexy mood light. Everybody looked the same in the dark.
Yeah. She's not, by the way, she's not the only one to do this. In March, a California real estate agent by the name of Missy Peterson,
Ooh.
she shocked her boyfriend of 2 years by secretly placing a tracker on his car, tracked him to a strip club, and then paid the strip club to allow her to hop on stage where she executed
no.
where she executed a striptease for her unsuspecting boyfriend who she followed to the strip club. She goes, I got on stage in a bra and thong, and that one of the strippers gave me, walked up to him and said, oh, you want a show? I'll give you a show.
Now that seems a little sketchy.
And she gave him a show, broke up with him, but still earned $100 from some of the other customers.
That sounds sketchy, and if it is true, I think she's corny for that. Like, guys go to strip clubs. That's not cheating. I don't think that's cheating. All guys go to strip clubs.
It all depends, Jonathan.
Some
Some people think it's what you and your significant other think is cheating.
Yeah,
that's
but if you think that's cheating and you're bold enough to get on the stage for everybody to see your tatas, then you're trash too. So if I'm trash, you're trash too. We should be together.
Okay, maybe they're still together. Who knows?
I think that's corny.
You want to hear something trashy?
Mm-hmm.
Remember Stephanie Matto?
Oh God,
She was the 90-day fiance. Yeah, she was the fart girl, fart in a jar. We talked about her.
Disgusting.
Yeah, well, she ran out of gas.
It's
So
nasty.
now she's selling boob sweat.
You see.
And the fans are loving it. They're buying jars of boob sweat. She goes out to her pool. She gets all hot in the pool and then jars her boob sweat and sells it. But she said recently, though, she had to stop production for a day or two because there was a bear in the backyard. She couldn't go out. Isn't that gross? Why would you want that?
I'm trying to keep the food that I just ate down.
Why would you want that?
That's disgusting.
Yeah, there's a new dating app called Lycos.
Ilios.
Ilikos. No, it's
Ilikos.
Ilikos. Oh, that's an I.
Ilikos.
Ilikos. I see. Started in May 2021. It was a silent launch, but starting to pick up right now.
Okay.
And it matches people based on their horoscopes.
See, this is smart.
Yes.
This is pretty smart.
Right. But they say women are a lot more into it than men. Men just know like they're a Scorpio or they're a Libra, but they don't know
that.
They don't know anything after that.
I can see
you
that.
know, and don't really care. But women are really into it.
Most of the people that I know that are really into astrological, just like, you know, anything about zodiac signs are women, and especially like the ones that can read your signs and like put stuff together. They're always women. So I've met guys that got turned on to the that whole genre because of women, but I've always seen women get into that. So I think it's a dope.
Yeah, some people are into it. The guy who started Gracian Marathasan, he's a man. He said he came up with the idea. He was having dinner with a fellow engineer who was saying how superficial dating apps felt. This is nothing more superficial than matching on a horoscope, but okay. He felt he didn't have time to sit through all the profiles and read them. And who reads the profiles anyway? So he said, you know what? Maybe I'll starting to think of other ways to filter matches that might encourage a connection. And then he remembered his grandmother and his aunt from Sri Lanka said that astrological compatibility is a true thing.
There you go.
Right.
So my thing is, you know, we always have so many different excuses to why that person was trash and we weren't compatible because he had these feelings and we believed about two different things. But they're also always trashing, oh, I will never date that zodiac sign. They will never, you know, so now this eliminates all those excuses that could possibly happen. It's like you have a whole app that is dedicated to you and your zodiac signs.
All right. Well, it's the first of the month on Hump Day, so we have everybody's
sexy
horoscopes for the month. Yo, you want to hear it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, you ready? All right, so Aries,
Which is me.
March 21st. We're going to do Aries single because you're single.
Okay. Yes.
You're a fire sign, but slow it down, yo-yo.
Oh.
Take your time getting to know people and make sure you're in alignment before jumping into any serious relationships this month.
Good to
Taurus. You're a Taurus, so you're a florist. No, that's not what I said. If you're a Taurus, you can expect a lot of activity and social events this month. Trust your gut when you're meeting new people because you're going to be tapped into your intuition. This is also the time to protect your energy and not chase whatever hottie comes your way. So slow down, Taurus, as well. Don't chase every hottie that you see.
Yeah.
Right? Gemini. With the sun in your sign, you're going to be attracting a lot of attention to Geminis this month. It's not a bad thing. Let yourself be celebrated, but be sure to make sure it's the right circle around you. So Geminis are they're gonna have a lot of attention. Just make sure you're spending the time with the right people.
Nice.
All right, Cancer. There's a lot of friendship energy in store for you this month, so get ready to hit the town with your posse.
Ooh.
Don't be surprised if you start feeling a little more than just friend vibes from somebody close to you. A close bond just might turn romantic, and the person may not be your type.
Oh.
But sometimes not your type is a good thing. So Cancer is going to get close to somebody close to them already. Cancer already knows who their relationship is this month. Leo, it's time to go out and do the things you love, especially around the full moon. Leo's July 23rd to August 22nd. If you're interested in romance, set up a fun date night on the beach or somewhere equally romantic. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. This is a great time for you to date, Virgo, because your intuition is on point. But before you get to swiping, take a moment to reevaluate your standards. Are you being so picky, Virgo, with your specifications that you're missing a slew of great people? You Virgos are very picky. Be careful. Libra, that's me. September 23rd to October 22nd with Venus and Taurus. And Taurus visiting their floor. No. Venus and Taurus this month. You're likely feeling a bit dreamy. I am.
Oh.
I am. That's so true. Spend the beginning of the month focused on your fantasies. I have been.
Really?
I have been focusing on my fantasies. What kind of lover are you looking for in your life? I've been thinking about that.
Think big.
I will think big. And specifically about the qualities you want in a partner. And when I am clear in my head, they're going to walk into my life. This is what I've been thinking about.
That sounds like law of attraction to me.
This is right on point, yo-yo.
That definitely sounds like law of attraction
I don't know, did Nostradamus write these things? This is right on point. Scorpio, they're October 23rd to November 21st. Get ready for some sexual healing, Scorpio. Woo. Because Venus, the planet of love, is opposite your sun in Taurus for most of June. Other people are checking you out, Scorpio. Have your connections popping up everywhere. Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st. With a full moon in Sagittarius, you can be sure to feel an infusion of energy into your love life this month. You can find yourself examining your sensuality by the end of the month, which is a great time to get clear on what you want in a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Boy, these horoscopes take a long time.
It's long.
Yeah. Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th. With Venus, the planet of love in Taurus this month, hop on the dating apps and have some real conversations. Schedule time for a few dates because you're going to be very flirty this month.
Whoa.
Capricorn's getting flirty.
That's my brother.
All right. Tell him he's going to be flirty.
I'm about to tell him.
Yeah. Oh, that's Ian too.
It might be Ian as well.
Okay.
Ian, are you feeling flirty?
Maybe Ian's a Capricorn? Is he? I don't know.
Let's see. I don't know.
All right. Aquarius, it's time to go to the past and clear space for the future. Clear out the past, Aquarius. Forget about the past. June is all about cutting those cords with people who are not serving your interests.
I gotta tell my sister that.
Yes, tell her. Cut it out. Jinx. Yo.
Thank you.
Go out and have fun. You never know what or who you may find. Tell your sister to go out and have some fun.
Yeah. Look, I'm actually gonna take her to New Orleans.
All right.
We're gonna have some fun out there. I'm gonna make sure she does.
And finally,
That's
Pisces.
Us. That's gonna be us.
And finally, Pisces. By the way, Barrel Holt, Carol says, yes, Cap report. She feels she's going to get a ring this month.
Whoa!
She's a Capricorn. You never know. You never know. And Pisces, February 19th to March 20th, you're feeling more communicative than usual this month, Pisces. So if you're single, it's time to meet someone. Don't sit on the couch, Pisces. This is your month. Don't be afraid to open up and show your true personality.
Yes.
All right, there is our sexy... Was that a sexy...
Sex horoscope.
Our sex horoscopes of the month?
Yep.
All right. In this edition of TikTok Time, I answer questions about bringing your spouse to the United States, getting married on a visitor's visa, and getting back into the United States with a criminal record. Let's watch. There's no length of time for a marriage to be bona fide, whether it's 1 day, 1 year, 2 years. But if your spouse gets his or her green card after the 2nd year anniversary of your marriage, they get a 10-year green card. If they get their lawful permanent residence before the 2nd year anniversary of your marriage, then they only get a 2-year conditional green card and then have to remove the conditions of their permanent residence. You can get married anytime on a visitor's visa as long as you intend to leave the United States. If you get married within the first 90 days on a visitor's visa and adjust your status, that would be a misrepresentation. That marriage should occur more than 90 days after your entry. If you have a criminal record and you want to come to the United States and bribe somebody, start with making huge contributions to congressmen and senators. They can make a private law for you to get a green card. All right, you ready for some meat and potatoes, Yo-Yo?
Let's eat.
Let's do it. All right, Jamal, you're up. What's going on?
How you doing?
How you doing?
So, how you doing?
Good.
So I'm a U.S. citizen. I have a daughter in Jamaica. She's 5. Is it true that she's automatically a citizen because I'm American?
Was she born when you were an American?
Yes.
Okay.
She's born in Jamaica.
Are you born American or are you a naturalized American?
I was born American.
Okay. I assume you've lived in the United States your whole life.
My whole life.
Okay. Yes, she is an automatic U.S. citizen. She should go to the U.S. Embassy. You get a record of a birth from abroad, a certificate of birth of abroad from the embassy, and you can also apply for a U.S. passport for her as well.
So I must go to the U.S. Embassy and apply for a passport.
And a record of a birth abroad. They may ask for DNA, but you'll take the DNA and should be no problem.
Okay, no problem. All right, thank you so much.
So she's an automatic citizen just because you were a citizen when she was born, and you were living in the United States for 5 years at any time after your 14th birthday before her birth.
All right, gotcha.
So automatic citizen.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
All right, good luck. Let's go to Edward in Toronto.
Hi, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hi, Edward.
Hello, Brad. Well, thanks for answering the question.
Yeah.
So, because I'm from Toronto and I'm a Canadian citizen, and I've got an internship offer in the United States, a short one for like less than 90 days. And I have a question about the visas that I need to get, because on the U.S. travel.org, a website like that, it says that I don't need a visa for like short travels like that, except for certain.
You don't need a visa to come visit for 90 days, but you need a visa if you're going to work in the United States. What is the job?
It's an paid internship at an energy tech company.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a visa for that, to be honest with you. There would be something called a J visa. So
J1 visa, right?
J1 visa. So you would have to go through a J1 program.
Okay.
Those are the internship programs. So you would have to contact the J1 visa program, say, I have an internship set up in wherever. Can you sponsor me for the J visa for this internship? And they would generally do that.
Do I have to go through the DS160, that website as well, or should I just can I just contact them directly?
Contact the J1 visa companies. This has to be the company The J1 visa is the exchange company that will sponsor you and place you in the internship that you already have.
Okay, so yeah. So I can just contact them directly.
Correct.
All right, so I don't need to go to the consulate or go through DS-160.
No, you would contact them directly. They would give you the DS-160, and then you take that to the consulate and get the visa.
Is there a way to like shorten the process? Like,
Contact the way to shorten it is do it as quickly as possible.
all right, sure, thank you.
All right, good luck.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. All right, let's go to Mark in Yonkers.
Hey, how you doing, Brad?
How you doing?
Good, good. So my question is that how long does it take to a visitor visa, the whole process? How long does that take for somebody to get it in hand?
As quickly as they can make an appointment at the U.S. Embassy. Every U.S. Embassy has different waiting times.
Okay. My second question is, how much does it cost for a visa process, a visitor visa process?
I don't know what the filing fee is off the top of my head for the visitor's visa.
Okay. And my last question is that if somebody is from Venezuela, citizen, do you think they have a great chance to get approved for a visitor visa?
Zero chance.
Zero chance?
Yeah, we don't have relations with Venezuela right now.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much.
Okay. Let's go to Mike in the Bronx.
Hey, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
And team, good afternoon. I'm not too bad. All right, so I recently became a U.S. citizen. I want to file for my mom. She is a resident of the UK, but a citizen of Jamaica. What's the process on how the time span is on that?
Well, if you're going to sponsor her, she'll pick up her green card in London, England, take about 8 to 12 months to get the I-130 approved, and maybe 6 months to get her the visa appointment in London.
Okay, so she don't have to go to Jamaica to
No,
pick
if
it
she's a
up?
permanent resident in London, you can request London.
Okay,
All right?
gotcha.
Okay.
One more thing here. Do you think she have to do the COVID, the vaccine for
Yes.
the medical?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to Samir in Chicago.
Here in Chicago.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you? Good.
I'm good. So yeah, Brad, this is a question from my friend. Actually, his wife is a F4 beneficiary. So his brother-in-law filed for his wife and his family. So he has currently, like, his priority date is January 2015, and he's from India, and currently they are processing applications for 2007. So since he has 10 more years of wait time, he was thinking that if he can get a B1, B2 visitor visa and come here and change it to like L1, will that and get a green card through EB3 category via on L1? Is that a possible option, do you think?
No, not getting a visitor's visa to come here to do an L1, but you could apply directly for an L1 visa in India. But an L1 visa is you work for a company in India for one out of the last 3 years, and they have a subsidiary or another company that's at least 50% owned by the company in India, and they're transferring him to the United States. So you don't need the B1 visa to do it. Just work for a company that's willing to do it.
Okay, understood. And second question, Brad. So if for some reason, somehow he gets the B1, B2, and he comes here,
He won't get a B1, B2 because he already has an immigrant intent with the I-130. So a B1, B2 is a non-immigrant intent visa. An L and an H is a dual intent. So having the I-130 doesn't prevent you from getting an L or an H.
Yeah, since he wanted to ask me, because that's why I'm asking. So if he gets a B1, B2, and he comes here and changes it to F1, and then through F1 he gets a H1, is that a possible route? Do you think also, or no?
I don't understand why he needs to come here on a B1 to change status. Just get the H1 in India. Get the L in India.
Okay.
All right.
I see. Thank you, Brad.
Right.
Thank you. Bye.
Let's go to Dadan in Mumbai, India.
Hello.
Dadan, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Good.
My question is that I called you in your show like a couple of weeks ago. Our question is that my Bhava has been approved, but I got deported back in 2020. And can I get any like deportation exception if I can establish deportation connected to abuse?
Why were you deported?
My abusive spouse called to authority.
No,
I
why
was
were you
working
deported?
illegally.
Because you overstayed your visa? Why were you over
Yes.
deported? Yes.
Yeah.
Why didn't you file for an abuse case while you were in removal?
They said I was arriving early and I am not qualified for that one.
Of course you are. You filed a
I didn't know that one.
File a VAWA case. How long ago?
No.
Are you married to this woman or divorced?
I am married. I got deported and my VAWA has been approved now.
Okay, so if your VAWA has been approved, you can
Yes.
then process your application at the U.S. Embassy, and then file a waiver to return after prior deportation.
Okay.
And the hardship
So
will
I
go
need to
you.
file a waiver, right?
Yes. You need help. You need help. All right, don't do this on your own, because you know what happened when you were doing it on your own? You didn't know and you got deported already. So you need help.
All right.
Hold on.
All right. Thank you.
Let's go to Jessica in Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for taking my call. So I had a few questions. I filed for VAWA. It's been 9 weeks now, and I still haven't gotten a receipt notice. I was wondering, when I called the USCIS number, at 30 days after filing, one representative told me to send an email to a lockbox, which I did with my information. Still haven't gotten nothing after 2 months. Then I called back. Another representative told me to write a letter to the humanitarian department, which I did. I still haven't gotten any response of a receipt notice. Can you give me any ideas on what to do to get a receipt notice?
How long has it been?
It's been 9 weeks since I filed.
I would wait 3 months before you freak out.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Also, I have an EAD card which expired in May.
Have you filed an adjustment?
Yes.
Okay. You filed a work permit with it?
Yes.
Okay. Has your filing fees been cashed?
For the VAWA?
No, for your adjustment.
So that last year I applied for renewal of my work permit.
One second. You filed an adjustment through a marriage, and that has been remaining open, and now you filed a VAWA? Is that what happened?
Yes. So
Okay.
last year.
All right, so then just file for renew your work permit.
With the VAWA?
Yes. You have a pending adjustment. Is that what you're explaining to me?
So,
Is that what you're explaining to me? You have a pending adjustment, correct?
Yes, but I'm filing for VAWA now.
But you have a pending, ma'am. I don't know if you know what's going on. So let me explain to you what's going on. You tell me if this is correct. You did a marriage case. You have a pending adjustment on a marriage case. The marriage didn't work out. Your adjustment is still pending on that marriage case. You have now filed a VAWA application. You now, in part of that VAWA application, you say, I have a pending adjustment. Please transfer my adjustment to the VAWA. That adjustment continues for the next 3 years. You don't have to file a new one. File for renewal of your work permit.
Okay, so
who's handling your case? Who's handling your case?
I sent in my documents.
Who's
myself.
handling yourself?
Yes.
Okay, this is why. Hold on, you need help too. Let's go to Raj in Seattle.
Hi, Brad. How
Hi,
are you?
Raj. How are you?
Good. I have two questions. I came here with a student visa and applied asylum. My asylum is still pending. Last week, my wife got a U.S. citizen, but she's not making enough money to support for affidavit. But her own brother is filing for I-86 for a form. I have one little concern about this brother income because his 2019 and 2020 tax income was not good, like of 20,000. But now he is making like in recently he's making like 2021 is good, and then currently he's making like 4,500 per month. Does that for 2019 and 2020 income affect anything?
It does, but if he's making above the poverty level now, and you have a letter that says that his job is going to continue indefinitely, then they should be okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. And then one more question. What I do with the adjustment after filing the adjustment status for my asylum?
What do you do with the what?
The asylum, because like my asylum is pending.
Oh, okay. You filed your adjustment already?
I'm going to file this.
Okay, so after you file your adjustment and you get your receipt notices, withdraw the asylum.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the help.
Let's go to Jed in McDonough, Georgia.
Hey, Brett, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, I got a question for you. So, my green card is expired next year, 2023.
Right.
But I got a case that, from the DMV that I got arrested, but my case was dropped by the DA. So I don't know what kind of help I need here. Before, I'm not really sure if I have to apply for citizenship or I just have to renew my green card.
What were you arrested for?
Because they found on my fingerprints I have another license under my name.
Why did you have two licenses?
Well, when I first came into the country, I didn't know I was, back then I was 22 years old.
Okay. So when did you get your green card?
2014.
Okay. And the charges were dropped ultimately against you?
Yes, I got all the paperwork. They dropped it, and the DA don't want to move forward with it. They drop it.
Why did they drop it?
Because he say it's the case is over 30-some years.
Okay.
And he doesn't want to move forward with it. So I didn't know what to do with it. So I just wait.
When was the last time you used this driver's license? Before you got
back
your green card?
Back in 2000 when they revoked it, and the DMV gave me they changed everything to what my green card is.
Okay, when was that? 2014.
Yes.
Okay, I think you can file for your citizenship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you want to have a good lawyer with you. You got to prove good moral character, but I think you can file your citizenship.
All right.
All right. Hold on one second.
Thank you.
Let's go to Dion in Wilmington, Delaware.
Hi, Brad. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. I have one question to ask. So, if you're legally guardian and you be a legal guardian for a stepson, would that stepson be a citizen as well?
No.
So, what do you have to do?
You, as a stepmother, cannot. You would have to
No,
adopt.
stepfather.
Stepfather would have to adopt that child before 16.
So he's a legally guardian. He went to court.
No, he would have to be an adopted parent before 16. Not a legal
he has to be.
Right. Other than that, the child would be naturalized when he's 18.
Yes, but he already got his green card by the legal guardian.
Through the SIJ?
Yes, because his stepfather is a military person, so he's got it when he was like 14, 15.
The stepfather, one second. You're saying stepfather, that means that he's married to you?
Yes.
Okay. And he's a U.S. citizen, so he filed a petition for this child?
Yes.
Okay. And he just said, okay, I'll get legal guardianship of him anyway. That doesn't entitle him to citizenship.
Okay.
Only if in adoption before 16 would. Otherwise, this child has to become a naturalized citizen when he is 18.
Oh, so he has to adopt him before. Okay, good.
Not right before 16, or the child just waits till 18 and then naturalizes.
Oh, he passed 18. He's 23 now, going 24.
So then naturalize.
Okay, so how would that be? What would you have to do?
File a naturalization application. Hold on. Let's go to KB in Dallas.
Hello.
Hi, KB.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I filed I-589, and I'm waiting for my interview. just I get my work permit. So can I work in different state?
Who's sponsoring you for your green card?
No, I just filed I-589 for asylum.
Oh, for asylum? Yes,
Yeah.
you're allowed to move to a different state.
Just I'm waiting for my interview.
You can.
So can I work?
You can go work in another state. You can move to another
Even
state.
even though open business?
You file for asylum. There's 50
Yes.
states you could work in, 50 states you can live in. Choose.
So even the address for the interview is on the same place, yeah?
You would, if you move to another place, you change your address, and then your interview would be at that new place.
Oh, okay. Unless, so I must have to change my address first.
Sir, you
Yes.
file for asylum.
Yes.
You live in Texas. You don't want to live in Texas anymore? You want to go work in Oklahoma? Go move to Oklahoma. Tell immigration you moved from Texas to Oklahoma. Then your interview will be in Oklahoma. You want to live in New York? Work in New York? Go move to New York and work in New York. Tell immigration. File AR-11. You move to New York. Your interview's in New York.
Thank you so much.
Okay. That wasn't difficult. Sasha in Kingston.
Hello, good
Hi, how are
night,
you?
Brad. I'm alright. I did call you sometime in this year about
Yes.
my husband's situation, right? But anyway, I'm calling about something different. My husband took in my high 130 in February last year, right, 2021. He received a paper from them that the party date is saying February 22, 2021, right? So he put in his citizenship also, which he get back information with he do his citizenship right now. He's swearing on the 27th of May. So I'm questioning what must we do right now about my I-130?
It's still pending?
Must I upgrade that?
He has to write, if he has a receipt notice for the I-130,
yeah,
the I-130 has not been approved yet. He makes a photocopy of his naturalization, and he writes a letter to the office where the I-130 receipt came from, and writes a letter with the case number. Dear sir or madam, I'm the petitioner. My wife is Sasha in Kingston, whatever your last name is. I have become a U.S. citizen. Here's a copy of my naturalization certificate. Please upgrade this case. Thank you. I just wrote the letter for you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. And yes, thank you. Next question. All right. I was pregnant. I have a baby on the 29th. Do I have to put the 29th of January, which she born before he's swearing for it?
So he has to file a separate petition for the baby now.
Oh, so you have to do. So will she get through in time when I'm gonna get through?
She'll be a few months behind you, but hopefully you'll be able to consolidate it as it goes along. But he has to file an I-130 for this child right away, or you're coming without the child.
But so
he has to file a separate I-130. He has to file a separate I-130 for the child. The day he became a citizen, that child is no longer included on your petition. That child is not a U.S. citizen because the child was born before your husband became a citizen. He has to file a visa petition for her. When she comes to the United States and enters the U.S., she'll become an automatic citizen.
Okay. So about how much months after when we do the adjustment of the upgrade, I'm looking out here again in Jamaica.
You are going to do the upgrade now, and you're going to file an I-130 for your child. That's what you're going to do now.
Yeah.
Okay?
So, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Robert in Houston. Hi, Robert.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm all right. Hey, cool. My question is just like, I came to the United States in 2012 as a international student, right? I get married in 2016, and I got my green card and got the renewal. I got the 10 years in 2019, right? So I filed for citizenship. Everything went well until the interview, right? The officer brought the fact that I was arrested back in 2012.
And you never told immigration when you got your green card that you were arrested?
No.
Okay, so now there's misrepresentation across the board. What were you arrested for?
That was back when I was going to school, and I had an exam, and I didn't,
Where?
like in New York.
What were you arrested
My ticket yeah, in New York.
What were you
Now I
arrested
live-
for?
Like I said, yeah, I was jump on the train station because my
All right, that's not a
ticket.
big deal. Okay.
My ticket expired. I jumped on the train station, so the officer took me to the police station and gave me a desk apprentice ticket. So I went down there. Yeah, I went down there, and I think they gave me 2 charges. One was like violation and the transportation place without paying, and the second was like whatchamacallit.
What happened on the citizenship?
Trespass. Sorry. So and during the interview, she brought it up. I explained it. Yeah. I think the fact that like this, it happened in 2012. So I explained it, like I wasn't sure, like, because like the case got dismissed and everything. So she said like I need that. All
right, so bring the disposition, and you'll have to
Yeah,
write
that's
an affidavit about how you made a mistake. It wasn't, you have to explain
Yeah.
without obviously whatever the
Yeah,
situation is.
she gave me a continuance on asking about she needed a court dismissal. I flew back to New York to get it.
Okay.
So I found out it was dismissed and filled.
Okay, great. So
Right.
I think
So-
ultimately you're fine. You didn't give it, but it was a minor offense that was dismissed. It would have made no difference on you getting your green card. And
On my citizenship.
You didn't mention it on your green card. You didn't mention it on your
Yeah.
citizenship, but when it was brought up, it's not like you lied. You just, it was more like a forgot type of thing. I assume.
Yeah, I explained to her during the interview, like I had no intention of lying and stuff like that. She was like, okay, fine. So
Yeah. I just bring it. It's dismissed. Even if you told them across the board, you still would have got your green card. It wouldn't have made any difference in any of your applications. You're going to be fine.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, like I'll
And
send the continuance like
You're
2
going to be
weeks ago.
fine. Give her the disposition. If you have a problem, call me back.
Okay, to call you back. Okay.
But you're
Like I
gonna
said,
be
I sent the disposition that shows it was dismissed and
will
filled.
be fine. That mean that when I say you will be fine, your answer
Mhm.
is thank you. I feel better now. You don't have to tell me anymore. You're going to be fine.
So I'll get the citizenship.
You will.
Approved.
I can't. I'm not the immigration officer. What I am telling you, if you listen to me, but you're not listening to me, you're just, sometimes you get so nervous it goes in one ear and out the other. What I'm saying to you is, it was a minor offense. Seems like you just were not trying to mislead anybody. And certainly, if you told them when you got your green card, here's a disposition about jumping a turnstile that got dismissed, and you would have got your green card anyway. It would have made no difference. So it's only a misrepresentation if it would have made a difference in the outcome of the case, and it wouldn't have. So that's why I said, you will be fine. Now you say thank you.
Thank you, right.
Okay, goodbye. All right. Sadiq. Sadiq.
Hello?
How are you?
Good, how are you, Brad?
What's going on?
So I'm in a removal proceeding.
Yes.
But I do have I-130 approved marriage base.
Right.
I have a court coming in September. My question is, should I wait for my court hearing and apply I-485 adjustment status in the court, or should I get my case terminated?
You can
and
file
with
the
USCIS?
I-485 now, although it's going to be administratively closed, but you can do it now. You could also make a motion to terminate the proceedings and file the adjustment as soon as it's terminated. You want to get your work permit, you can file an adjustment with a waiver now. There's a lot of different options of what you can do. My advice would probably be make a motion to terminate. You have an approved I-130, and and then the judge will allow you to file the adjustment directly with USCIS. They should approve it because the judge wants you off their calendar.
So, but with the judge, like if I file with the judge, it won't be like faster, or with the US it takes like
USCIS will be faster.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. All right. And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you could always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. Drop me a DM. I'll be happy to answer your questions as best as I can. You could also follow us at Brad Show Live for the best 30 seconds of Brad Show Live. You don't like 2 hours, but you like 30 seconds. Instagram Brad Show Live. And of course, you can follow us on TikTok, our fastest growing social media platform. All you need to do is leave your questions in a comment section, and you may be lucky enough for me to give you a personalized video for your answer for the whole entire world to see.
And you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And later in the show, I'm going to be speaking with Mexican-American middle grade teacher and author Ernesto Cisneros, whose first published book, Efrén Divided, was named the top book of 2020 and described as a love letter to children of families torn apart by deportation.
And in honor of the beginning of Pride Month, we're going to hear from some people we spoke to at the NYC Pride March a few years ago. Check it out.
I'm from a very conservative country where I cannot be who I am. So I'm here seeking for a better life.
I'm marching for my sister, my cousin, everybody who I know. I have my best friend who's also gay. Anybody in the world. I'm all about love, unity, all that good stuff.
I want to experience the freedom and the right to be free and be who I am with my sexuality and experience with other people and share with other people. That's why I'm here.
I'm marching for trans women of color. I'm marching for immigrants, those children in cages, and everybody else.
I'm a gay man. This is where we can amplify our voices, make ourselves known.
I'm marching for LGBTQ, everyone who is too afraid to come out or can't come out. I'm marching for everyone who loves. That's it.
I'm marching for literally everybody. It's a day for everyone to be just proud of who they are. Most of my friends are LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, this and that. You know, like I know a diverse range of people and I'm marching for all of them. I just think everyone should just be proud of themselves on this day. It's been since the beginning of America to accept people without regard of their religion and to say, come into our country, we will protect you. There's a separation of church and state that should be here, and we're going to accept you no matter who you are.
We're all human and we all love differently, we all express differently, and we should all have the right, whether we're gay, straight, black, white, Puerto Rican, we should all have the same rights and we should all be able to do the same things as them.
I mean, I think if anyone's in an unsafe situation and there's a safe place that could protect them from this unsafe situation, they should be able to remain there.
The ability to be free and to be authentic is a gift. I just wish that one day if I can become an American citizen, I can vote and I will do everything I can to give back to the country.
Oh, I'm back! All right, social media check-in. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, Sequeque, I think, on Facebook. I'm about to get married next month and my passport is expired April 2022. The passport insurance is going to take months. Can I apply with the expired passport?
Yes.
Prudence on Facebook. When I came to the U.S. recently, I mistakenly passed through the gates in New York subway. I was fined $100 and I paid. Will it affect my VAWA case because I did not fill in that I was arrested? What's your advice?
Correct it.
Sam,
it will not affect your...
It won't affect the VAWA?
It won't, but correct it.
Okay, Sammy Adventure on YouTube. If someone has a pending VAWA and his case is on administrative closure in immigration because he came as a refugee in the country, is it safe to travel on approved travel documents?
Yes, but not to the country where you escaped.
Vapapini on YouTube. I applied for my marriage-based green card in May 2022. I have biometrics this month. How long after will I get my card?
I don't know.
Nudoida. Okay, on on YouTube. I got my green card through EB2. I filed I-824 for my wife and children, and at the same time I submitted my I-485. Do I still need to file the I-130? I'm already married.
She already got a green card. What are you talking about?
I got my green card through EB2. I filed the I-824 for my wife and children.
Oh, I see.
And at the same time, I submitted the 485.
No, you don't need. Well, where is your wife and children?
It does not say.
Okay, you do an I-824 if your wife and children in another country. You do an I-485 if your wife and children are here. So I don't know where your wife and children are.
Cookie V on YouTube. I had an interview 4 months ago. My I-130 was approved 2 months ago, but my I-485 is still pending. How long does it take for the I-485 to get approved?
I don't know.
Langob on...
people are asking me on their specific case when they're going to get a green card. How would I know? I don't know anything about your case.
Yeah. Lango Bala on YouTube. When can I do, or what can I do to renew my driver's license?
They even assumed that the I-45 would get approved. I don't even know that it would get approved.
Right.
Right.
Okay. What can I do to renew my driver's license? DMV is asking for a letter or a document to show that USCIS has automatically extended EAD.
You bring a letter from the USCIS that's extended. You bring the receipt you bring the receipt that you have a pending EAD.
And Shaw on Facebook, can I file for my adult daughter who's unmarried and over 21 who's living here in the U.S.? I'm a permanent resident.
Yes.
Carlos Martin on YouTube, I'm in removal proceedings for I-751 being denied. If I traveled outside the country and DHS denied my entry, what should I do next?
Don't travel out, because if you're in they won't be allowed you back in. Deportation.
Yeah. Janet Brown on YouTube. I'm a permanent resident and filed for my son over 21 almost 3 years ago. If I go for my citizenship next year, how long of a wait will he have?
It's about 7 to 8 years. You'll cut off about a year.
Damian Thompson on YouTube. I filed my N-400 on September 29th, 2021 at the New York office. Should I be waiting that long for an interview?
What did he file?
N-400 on September 29th, 2021.
No, you should not be waiting that long. It's now April, September, October. Yeah, maybe, but it should be coming up very soon. If you don't get it by August, then you should be concerned.
Tina Chaw on YouTube. My marriage-based application was denied. I have refiled for 5 months now. My work permit has not been reissued, but I have a SSN. Can I still work?
Yes.
The Alias on YouTube. I'm with I-130 pending. I just filed the I-360. May I transfer the time from I-130 to start, or just start again?
Start again.
Elizabeth Francis on Facebook. If someone has been visiting, has a visiting visa and gets 6 months in the country and his parents his parent is a permanent resident, can the parent file an I-130 petition before the 6 months expires? Will he be able to stay here and adjust his status?
If he's over 21, he will not be able to stay here and adjust his status.
K Doe on YouTube. My 485 interview was denied. I think we've asked that. Joan Cowell on YouTube. My mother did her N-400 form last week. Her husband is in Jamaica. Is it okay for her to go ahead and file for her husband while the N-400 is processing?
Absolutely, you should do it. It'll be
proceeding.
faster. And then upgrade it when you become a citizen.
Okay, Rolls Royce on YouTube. Can you explain this new 3 to 10-year bar lawsuit? Does it mean that people trying to adjust their status outside the U.S. don't need a 601 waiver to get a green card approved after overstaying? And who does it apply to? I've been waiting for this I-601A forever.
I'm not familiar with the lawsuit, so I don't know what he's referring to.
Okay, Zito Sowell on Facebook. What does it mean when USCIS says your name has been updated? And what does it mean when USCIS says your VAWA case is currently pending security checks?
I mean, somebody looked at your case and moved it along. So it's a good thing. It doesn't mean you're approved, though.
Constant Jimmy on YouTube. I've been waiting for my VAWA green card for over 2 years. I never get any answers from USCIS. What should I do?
Wait 1 more year. It's about a 3-year process.
Chris Kelly on YouTube or Facebook. I haven't worked in 8 months, coming back from overseas after an 8-week trip. Immigration asked me what I do for work. Should I not travel if I'm not working?
No, you can work.
No. They have not worked in 8 months, and coming back from an overseas trip that was 8 weeks long, immigration asked what I do for work. Should I not travel if I'm not working?
No, you can travel.
Okay.
You don't have to. The point is, you don't have to work to keep your green card.
Right, that's what it was asking.
Right.
June Emmy Felix on Facebook. My friend will be scheduled for her citizenship on July 8th, but she also has booked a flight on July 8th, which she booked over a year ago. What can she do?
Wait, what?
So she has a scheduled. She's scheduled for citizenship on July 8th, and she also has a flight.
Well, either what's more important, the flight or the citizenship? The flight's more important. Call up USCIS, says I'm not in town. Please reschedule. Maybe you'll be rescheduled another 6-9 months.
Whew.
If not, reschedule your flight for another day.
Yeah, another day.
I mean, what's more important to you? I don't know.
Like, you don't have to end the whole trip. Just go the next day. Pay that money. Sammy Chai on YouTube. I have a conditional green card, but my wife doesn't want to renew it. We have been living separately for the last 6 months. What should I do?
Get a divorce and do it on your own.
Khadija on YouTube. I have questions regarding the K3 visa for my husband. Could you please give me instructions? I already filed the I-130.
File the I-129 once you get the receipt, and either the K3 will get approved and your husband will get here faster, or a lot of times what they do is they approve the I-130 faster and then deny the K3, which is fine, which is really what you want anyway. You want something approved faster.
All right, last three. Everything Hair and More Success on YouTube. Does the 3 months prior to the green card expiration application apply to citizenship applications as well? I'm about 5 years into the marriage since I got my first green card. Can I file for a citizenship?
What?
So does the 3 months prior to the green card expiration application apply to citizenship applications as well?
That's where it does apply. That's what I didn't understand.
Okay, so
So,
they said...
so if you have a green card and you've been a permanent resident for 4 years, 9 months, and 3 days, which is 90 days before the 5-year anniversary, apply for your citizenship.
Okay, Edward Yoon on YouTube. If I remotely work a paid internship position in the U.S. as a Canadian citizen for less than 90 days, would I need a visa?
Not if you're remote working in Canada, no.
And last one, Eunice O'Deary on YouTube. Hey, Brad, if I'm a naturalized American citizen and I have 3 kids that are under 18, do they have to wait 5 years to apply for their citizenship as permanent residents?
No, if you're a citizen, your children will become automatic citizens under 18. If not, they can naturalize themselves at any time after 18 as long as they've had a green card for at least 5 years.
All right.
All right. And Ernesto Cisneros, a Mexican-American middle grade teacher and author from Santa Ana, California. Ernesto's first published book, Efrén Divided, was named a top book of 2020 by multiple literary organizations. The book was written in response to what Ernesto was seeing his own students experiencing. He joined me to discuss his life and his career as a teacher and a writer in a very large immigrant community. Let's watch. Ernesto Cisneros is the author of Efrén Divided, which has been described as a love letter to children of families torn apart by deportation. The award-winning story has been named Best Middle Grade Book of 2020 by numerous literary organizations. And what makes this more amazing is this is the veteran teacher's first published work. Ernesto joins me to discuss Efrén Divided, how his teaching career led him to becoming an author, and his family's own immigration story. Welcome, Ernesto.
This is an honor. I mean, you're a champion for civil rights, so I am honored to be here. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that, and congratulations on Efrén Divided success as well. Just to name a few of the accolades the book has garnered, it has been named the Middle Grade Book of 2020 by organizations including Kirkus and the American Library Association, and it's also been named the Best Book for Kids 2020 by the New York Public Library. Were you amazed at all of these accolades on your first book out?
It surpasses anything that I ever could have imagined. My book debuted during the middle of the pandemic. So, I really didn't have any expectations. And even before that, I've been trying to publish books for over 14 years without any success at all. So you have your first book come out like this. It's been very surreal and just amazing.
You say you were trying to get published for the last 14 years. You've had other books and ideas.
I was that one kid in the back of the classroom that was always daydreaming. And when I became a teacher, my students were the ones that encouraged me. They're like, these stories are really good, because I would write stories along with them. And I wanted them to see not just the successes, but how difficult it was too. So I would just share my stories, like, see how bad the story is? Let's fix it together. And I used it as part of the writing instruction. And they kept encouraging me, saying, these are really good. You really should publish these. And so I've been teaching for 25 years.
What grades are you teaching?
Middle school, 7th and 8th grade. I love teaching middle school. It's almost like a fork in the road. They're the most impressionable years.
They certainly are. 14 years, you're writing stories. You're not picked up by anybody. Did you ever want to give up?
Yes. And here's the strange thing about not giving up. A lot of times, it's a lot easier to give up for yourself, but when you're fighting for other people, it makes it a lot more difficult to do that. And I knew that my students were always watching. I wasn't scared of failing. I had given up on the dream already, but I knew my students were watching, and I knew that my children at home were watching me. And when they were seeing me in the living room and I was writing at 2 a.m, I was being a good role model for them. And that's what my parents did for me. Seeing my mom working 70 hours a week, and my dad leaving before 4 a.m. to go work, whether it was 100 degrees, 110, or if it was pouring outside. And so, yes, my students were the ones that kept me motivated. They kept asking, Mr. C, did you write anything? How many pages did you write? In fact, one of the greatest rewards is that some of my students are writing books. They see me And they're like, he grew up right here too. He's just like me. In fact, where my school of fundamental is built, I used to ride my bike there. I learned how to drive a car there in that neighborhood. And I would even have little competitions with some of the students. And I'll be honest, sometimes they would beat me. They'd come back and they'd have 6 pages written over the weekend, and I would show up with my 2. That was one of the biggest thrills of the writing experience.
What is Efrén Divided about?
It's a story about a 12-year-old boy whose life is turned upside down when his mom is deported, and he's left fending for himself and for his little brother and sisters, Max and Mia. I hope that his mom will somehow be able to come back to him. And so he's pretty much taking care of his siblings, which is something that I've seen throughout my years teaching. I see it all the time.
So is that where you got the inspiration for writing about this, or did this come from your own history and your own biography?
Yes and no. So yes, I come from a family of immigrants, and so the whole experience is nothing new to me. However, it was during actually the 2016 elections, and it felt like Page was given a national platform. There were so many negative things being said about specifically Latinos at the time, and I know as a child I internalized everything that I used to hear, and I didn't want my students or my own children to internalize these same things. So I decided to write a story that would actually encompass and embrace the beauty of our culture and to focus on everything that they should be proud of. I knew I wanted to write that, so I started writing about all the beautiful things that I grew up with in my community that I saw, both as a kid living in Santa Ana and both as a teacher, teaching also in Santa Ana. And then during the 2016 election, mid-year, 3 of my students shared with me that one of their parents had been deported mid-year. And these are the same kids that are still doing their homework, they're still showing up, and you really would never have known that they were going through something so difficult. Personally, I would have just fallen apart. So I'm just in awe of these students. And I decided that I needed to do something for them. And so that's how the story kind of came to be. I wanted to send a message to those kids that there's allies out there, there's people they can turn to, so that they're not alone. And honestly, I had pretty much given up. I was thinking that Efrén Divided was going to be printed out in little packets and just handed amongst my students and shared with my own personal kids. I never really thought this was going to be published. My kids just went crazy for it. So I contacted my agent. I'm like, I wrote this little story about an immigrant family and an immigrant experience. I don't think there's a market for it. I don't think anybody would want to read this, but take a look. And my agent, Deborah Warren, fell in love with it. By the way, this was after about 6-7 years of submitting and not getting any bites on anything. 2 weeks later, we received an offer from HarperCollins.
Wow. So that's persistence. What is the success of this book meant to you, not just professionally, but personally as well?
Well, professionally, I don't really like accolades. I'm kind of a shy person, but the success, what it means to me is that, like the title kind of indicates, Efrén Divided, it's the way that I was feeling at times growing up. And I always felt very divided from the country. And then especially during 2016, I just feel like at times it's very difficult to love a country that doesn't love you back. And so I felt very, very divided and very split in that aspect.
Is that what you meant when you said that you internalized a lot of the rhetoric?
Yes, I did. And looking back, this is something that I was aware of as a child, but looking back, my entire family was a family of service. And what I mean by that is that my parents and my uncles and my cousins, everybody who I saw, we cut grass, we washed dishes, we worked in factories, we babysat, we fixed cars, and that's all we were in my eyes. And so I had this sense of disentitlement. And so I think part of what I want to do with Efrén Divided is to erase that sense of disentitlement. I want these kids to see themselves on the page and to think, you know what, yeah, I want to share my stories too. My stories are valuable, they're important, and they deserve to be shared. Yes.
And you're a perfect example of that. Do you see that in your students now?
Well, I teach in a Title I school, which means it's a low-income neighborhood. All the students that are qualified for free lunches at my school. I used to work in an elementary school that if you took the 1 mile radius of the school, it was the 3rd most densely populated 1 mile radius with children in the nation. That's due to all the apartments and multiple families living in the apartments. And that's actually the community where the book is based. The cover of the book is actually loosely based on that school. A little shout out to Geopolitical Elementary in Santa Ana, and that's where I taught. I grew up in the neighborhood there. I used to play basketball right there at the Boys and Girls Club across the street. All those experiences of growing up in the same neighborhood and seeing the things that are in this book, they're all in there.
You said that you were the first generation born here. Where did your parents come from?
My parents came from Michoacan, Mexico. And when they were very young, my dad and my mom decided they wanted to change the trajectory of where their lives were because there weren't too many opportunities there where they were living. And my dad had heard about the American dream. And so he had this itch and this burn, and he knew it wasn't going to go away. He was able to secure a tourist visa, and he came over and he worked really hard. I believe he began washing dishes, and then he got a job at a golf golf course, cutting grass there. He was such a good employee that they offered him a position. And he saw a future for himself that he wasn't seeing in Mexico. And so he went back, got reunited with my mom, and she got a visa as well. And she came over, and I was US born, and they filed for residency, and they were able to get that. And so the family came over. That's how our American dream kind of came
So
to be.
when do you celebrate the Mexican culture in Efrén Divided?
I do. You know what? I wanted to showcase the beauty of both cultures. We have such little representation with Latinos, and I wanted to make sure that I got it right. And quite honestly, I kind of struggled with that, to be honest, because I always felt like I didn't belong in Mexico and I didn't belong in the US. And my culture was a little bit of, ambiguous, being Mexican American. But yes, I did my best. Unfortunately, the Latino community was able to read over the book and make sure that I was very respectful to both cultures.
Are there any characters in the book that's based on you or your family?
Yes. And just about everybody's kind of loosely based on people. But the person who is responsible for this book is my mom and my dad. I actually wanted to, at a point, name this Soaphead Boy. And it's because growing up, I would always see how amazing my parents were. I never got up in time to catch my dad go to work. He'd be up, if I got up at 4 a.m. and I'd be looking for my dad, he'd be gone already. And my mom would always be impressed with me that she worked in the factory about 70 hours a week, which is just ridiculous. She'd come back, her hands would be hurting, and yet she would still go and cook for us and leave meals for us. And I would watch her, like in the book, exactly right out of the book, she would be making things for us like sopes. And all it is just, maize and beans, and it's not very expensive, but I love them. And I would watch her, warm them up, and then she would take the maize, and you have to kind of bend them with your hands while they're steaming hot. And I always watched her. I'm like, how do you not burn yourself? And I always thought that she was kind of like Superwoman, or like I use the term in the book is Soaphead Woman. I've got fantastic characters there. I wanted to pay homage to all the hard work that they put in, and I wanted to invite the readers, everybody who has never met a Mexican American family or a Mexican family, to kind of come and meet my family. And like I said earlier, there was so much hate being and so many derogatory things being said about us that I wanted to showcase what I perceive to be the reality.
What did you showcase?
The love. I want to showcase the culture and the beauty. One of the things I noticed about when people are saying hurtful things is because it's really easy to hate people you don't really know very well. And I wanted to show that we all have so many things in common. And who here wouldn't do anything they can to help better the lives of their family members? Who here doesn't have fond memories of their parents and them being their role models? And I think it's the love and the sense of community, but I also wanted them to have a sense of pride. How do you not honor people like that in your books? I mean, you're talking about trying to come up with good characters.
Obviously, Efren's divided because he has a parent who gets deported. What else was he divided about?
It was actually, like I said earlier, that I felt it's really difficult to love a country that doesn't love you back. And the character in the book is actually listening to everything that's being said. And the timeline for the book, although it's not specifically stated, it is 2016. It is during the elections. And all the things that were being said, he was hearing. And so it's hard not to internalize those things. So a lot of people, the way the election goes, they think it's just a preference, a political preference. But when you're a person of color, that's not what it's like to us. It's a rejection of who we are as people of color.
Was it difficult to write about all of this to such a young audience?
Well, as an author, I think it's our responsibility. You don't just expose children to these themes. They were living these things, and they were seeing it in the media, and I was sitting in the classroom, and I was watching it in the community. My responsibility as the author is to help them navigate the topic, and that's what I was trying to do as positively as I possibly could. I wanted the story to be true to itself and to focus on the love of the community, the love of the family, and the hope that the family had.
So somebody reads Efrén Divided. At the end, what do you want them to know and learn?
I think the message there is that honestly, we're all pretty much the same. To all the Efrens out there, I want them to know that they have allies, that you guys can turn to your teachers, that you guys have your counselors, that there's people in the community that can actually help you guys with anything that's going on in your lives. You're not alone. You don't have to take on the responsibility. You don't have to take on all the burdens all by yourself. I think that's what I want to tell them. And for everybody else who doesn't know a Mexican-American family or an immigrant family, take a moment to get to know us a little bit better. And this is basically an open invitation to come into my world. There's a character, Efren's best friend, David. And what I wanted to do was actually kind of show America what is possible. And so you have a white kid and a brown kid, and they're best friends, and they acknowledge each other's cultures, and they see the differences, but they embrace them. And so what I wanted to do was show America that, look, these two kids, they're kids and they're living in Santa Ana, and yet they connect and they're pretty much like brothers. And I don't see why we can't do the same. And I wanted to let them be role models for everybody else and for what can be in this country.
So does the book have a hopeful ending?
Without giving away too much, the trickiest thing about the book, because from the very beginning, I knew exactly how it had to end. And that's because I could not imagine being a student in a class. And imagine experiencing something like Efrén Nava does here in this book. And imagine that the ending is perfect and that everything works out perfectly for everybody. Could you imagine how hurtful that would be to that child? And you look in the mirror and you're thinking, why am I not worthy of this ending? Why is my life different? And so one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to be completely honest with those children, but definitely the story ends up in a very hopeful way. And hopefully I didn't give away too much.
Right. Yeah, because deportation is not a hopeful experience. It's a separation of families, especially for children growing up now without one or maybe both parents. Where can people learn more about you and Efrén Divided?
Oh, they can go to my website, ErnestoCisneros.com. People could go to indiebound.org, and that's powered by Bookshop. And you just type in your zip code, and it'll let you know of all the local independent bookstores available in your area.
Lastly, did you reach your American dream?
Growing up with a sense of disentitlement, this is beyond anything I could have imagined. So I kind of want to say yes in a personal way. But I want to see the American dream afforded to everybody, regardless of their race, sexual orientation, or anything.
Ernesto Cisneros, congratulations. Your first published book with all these awards and accolades, author of Efrén Divided. Check it out at your local independent bookstore. And thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor to be on your show. Thank you. And thank you for all that you do. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. All right.
Wait. I have one. Oh. I have one question. Adarnet Bailey Kerr. If you get DQ'd last month, how long do you have to wait for an interview spouse of a green card holder?
What country are they in?
Adarnet, what country are you in?
By the way, this spring, Ernesto released his new book, Falling Short, about two best friends. Falling Short is available on Amazon and Target. And for information, visit ErnestoCisneros.com. That's his next book.
Okay.
All right. I assume Darlene's Jamaica. It's 6 months to a year.
Okay.
All right. Assuming she's Jamaica.
Jamaica.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Just a wild guess.
Wow.
Felt it. Felt the aura of
That's
Jamaica.
Wild. Speed round.
Speed round. Let's go. Ready?
Yep.
Go.
If I get my work permit from Florida, can I work in another state?
Yes, but if it's on a marriage, how are you going to prove it's a bona fide marriage?
Can I still work while my I-751 is denied and I'm waiting to refile?
Yes, it's not going to prevent you from getting it renewed.
How long is the processing time when you petition for a parent?
If out of the country, about 18 months to get a green card.
How long is the F4 case for April 2020 at NVC taking?
Another 15 years.
How long is the USCIS security check for VAWA?
Anywhere from 3 to 6 months to 25 million years.
Can you contact the embassy about administrative processing IR1 for kids?
Of course you can.
If you qualify to apply for citizenship in January 2023, can you apply in May 2023?
Yes.
We're not going to get it.
You can file, if you're qualified for citizenship in January 23, can you file for citizenship in May of 2023?
Can you apply?
Why not? Why wouldn't you be able to?
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do the rest. If a spouse of a green card holder, I just asked that. If a spouse of a green card holder got DQ last month, how long for an interview? Are 4 witness letters enough for VAWA, and do they have to be notarized?
Depends on the rest of the evidence.
Okay, and
yes,
when
they should be notarized.
When the I-765 is issued without the I-131, does that mean it wasn't approved?
When the what is what?
When the I-765 is issued without the I-131, does it mean it wasn't approved?
No.
Okay.
No, they're separating them now.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh. Yeah, that was pretty wonky. Yeah.
All right, comments of the day.
All right, y'all. Our first comment of the day. I like this one by Lisa Bling Rose saying, "Squat up, everyone. Glad you're here. Sit back and relax and enjoy the show. We are one big family, near or far."
All right. Yeah.
That is true. That is true. I like
agree
that.
with
All right. Second comment of the day. Jessica Leamy saying, "I wish all the comment section immigration lawyers would slide in Jill's DM and play the squad versus crew games so that we can watch a game every week." Comment of the day. LOL. She even said it was comment of the day.
Yes, I agree, Jessica Leamy.
Yeah, we like those. You guys, come on, let us know. DM us. Play. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. All right. Third comment of the day. 29 Super C saying, "Uncle Brad, thank you very much for your guidance and help. I finally got through with my green card. May God richly bless
wow.
you, Yo-Yo, Vanessa, and your wonderful staff."
Super C, congratulations.
Congrats.
Been watching a long time.
Yeah, I hope you still watch.
Yeah, don't give up on us now that you got a green card.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're watching to see.
Yeah, we're going to watch and
Right,
see.
yeah.
All right, and our last comment of the day. Linda Shaw is saying, "Uncle Brad is the best immigration lawyer. He understands every immigrant's cry. So why seek another immigration lawyer when Uncle Brad is here? Check him out."
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree too.
All right, everybody. Tomorrow, I have an event to go to, so there'll be no show.
Yes.
Friday, we don't do shows anymore.
Right.
So we will see you
Monday.
Have a great week, guys. See you Monday. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?